Hello again, welcome to StudyingWorks. Today we'll be discussing that mysterious number on the back of water bottles. That's right, pH. But what is pH? What do we use it for, and what does all this have to do with logs? Well, to get started, pH is a measure of the strength of acids and bases. From a pH value, you know how basic or acidic a substance is. You should know this already, but here's a review. Acids are sour and have a pH lower than 7, while bases are bitter and have a pH higher than 7. Pure water is simply 7. To understand what a pH actually is, remember that acids are proton donors, meaning they donate H+ in a reaction, while bases are proton acceptors, meaning they accept the H+. What this means is that if a substance is acidic, it will end up having a greater concentration of H+, because there's a stronger acid to donate more H+. So you could measure acidity based on the concentration of H+, more H+, more acidic. That's what pH is. P stands for negative log, while H is the concentration of H+. pH is just the negative log of the concentration of H+ in molarity, and thus you can simply use the log button on your calculator to solve this example. When dissolved in water, a chemical is found to have an H+ concentration of 1.0 times 10 to the negative 8th. So first of all, let's write the H+ concentration, and then to solve for the pH, we just need negative log of 1.0 times 10 to the negative 8th, and this will give us 8. So our pH of this chemical is actually 8. Now remember that based on the diagram earlier, a pH of 8 is above 7, so this is basic. Now, you can just convert a concentration of H+ to a pH, but how do you go from a pH back to concentration H+? Just use the button that's likely above log on your calculator. Just put the negative of your pH inside there. So for example, say you have a chemical with a pH of 5, meaning it's acidic. Well, 10 to the negative 5th is your answer. Finally, let's talk about pOH. It may sound a bit odd, but it's quite simple. If pH is the negative log of the concentration of H+, pOH is the negative log of the concentration of OH-. So for example, a chemical has an OH- concentration of 1.0 times 10 to the negative 3rd. Now how do we find pOH? pOH will be negative log of this value. That gets us 3. So the pOH is 3. Now the relationship between pH and pOH is defined by this equation. pH plus pOH equals 14. So this means that you can actually solve for pH or pOH given one of them. So for example, in this last example, we have a pOH of 3. So pH equals 14 minus 3. And that will get us 11. So pH here is 11. So this is also basic. So you can do this for pH and pOH. So let's look at the first example. 14 minus 8 is equal to 6. So that is your pOH. And also remember that you can go from pOH to concentration OH- by the same method that you can go from pH to concentration H+. So 10 to the power of negative 6 is your answer. So this is how you find pH and pOH, or concentrations of H+ and OH-. Consider completing the rest of the table for practice, and if you have any questions, be sure to leave a comment. Thanks for watching.